Welcome back to Bridges. I know we talked about all the fun stuff in the first segment, and this segment is really about interesting and fun stuff as well, but it's stuff you really want to have a pencil for, you really want to take notes, you want to pay attention. I think that Tracy Perryman is going to talk to us about programs that will help make it easier for your child as they enter school this coming year, and that date is getting here faster and faster. I'd like to introduce you to Tracy Perryman. She's the Executive Director of the Center of Hope Family Services.
Yes.
Thank you, Tracy, so much for being with us this morning. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you so much for giving myself and my organization the platform to talk about the things that we do.
What is it? I noticed that your particular program has a lot of the things that we see an awful lot. They have mentoring and all kinds of support for kids, but your program is a bit different.
Yes, and I think that part of what makes every program unique is having an idea or a sense of why you do what you do. And so our organization is an outgrowth of a mission that we started through our church, and it came out of seeing young people start and bud with promise, and then a little down the road see that promise lost, forgotten, and then it's almost impossible for them to reclaim it. But then here's the next generation of kids who have to fill those shoes, and they don't have any direction or anywhere to turn. And so in trying to stop young people and families from falling through the cracks, we started our church to make sure that the faith community had some involvement, not just in discussing the problems, but in being a part of the solution. And we found that we were pretty good at what we did because the need outgrew what a standard church operation could fill. And so that's when we started Center of Hope Family Services, whose mission is, yes, to improve the life outcomes of individuals and families in urban settings.
You know, we talk a lot on this show about the need for education. We talk an awful lot about about our kids and the missteps that happen. What from your time at your organization have you seen to be the reason that we've got kids making such missteps?
Okay. Well, I think that the research and a lot of the community efforts have been really good in identifying the role of structural issues in terms of poverty and those barriers and, being isolated in poverty, and how children, families, adults start to see certain behaviors as normative because you don't get the exposure.
Right.
And we've looked a lot at how biology, mental health, intelligence, IQ, those things have some bearing in how we become what we become. I think one thing that we've kind of left out of the discussion is the issue of race, because it's something that we're a little afraid of. We don't know where it's going to go.
But you think it has a place in this discussion?
Yes. In the research that I've done at The Ohio State University, I found that when you control for poverty, when you control for schools, when you control for neighborhoods and all those issues, race oftentimes still has a higher influence, or racism, on the choices that young people and adults make.
Yeah, that's such an interesting point, and we are actually going to be talking about that very thing in future shows, because that same issue occurs in when you're talking about children who are born ill or children who are born stillborn in minority populations. When you control for everything else, the issue of race is still prominent as a stressor. And as a barrier to the successful pregnancy sometimes, and I hear you saying sometimes as a barrier to just getting ahead.
Getting ahead, doing well in school, deciding whether you will adopt a lifestyle of violence or not, because when individuals are exposed to the structures in society that say that certain people don't have access to certain things, almost no matter what you do, then that has some bearing on your attitude towards making the right choices. Having those barriers to access and opportunity. It also has a bearing on your efficacy to try to succeed when you see that you're starting the race 5 steps behind, and then you're kind of criticized when you don't catch up.
So what does the Center of Hope do to intervene in this process?
Okay. What we do, most of our programs fall under 2 areas: adult and family support, or positive youth development. And so what we've been able to do is find evidence-based practices that speak to the problem at hand. So if the problem at hand is education, then we know that the evidence there are certain pedagogical techniques that are effective. However, you have to also speak to the heritage of that child and tell that child that it is okay, who you are, despite all of the things that are happening around you, you are still okay, you're great, and you come from a rich history of individuals who have also faced their challenges, so yes, you can. And then you also have to speak to the fact that discrimination may just happen to you. It's not something that we can run away from, but we can teach you how to cope with it. And then we also have to teach you bicultural competence, because the bottom line is you are who you are, but whoever you're talking to is who they are too, and they have those experiences, and you have to work together to find some sort of common language. So putting those cultural elements in with what the evidence says about, you need to have educational enrichment, you need to have health and recreation, you need to have social and emotional development programs in place. We have been able to do quite well, particularly in Old Orchard Elementary, where we're very proud of our after-school program, which is called Elevate. And Elevate stands for engage, learn, empower, volunteer, and I always forget one. Volunteer, I am so sorry.
That's okay.
But it teach and enrich. And so I missed all but the A. But that program itself, we've been able to crystallize all of those strategies. And we did a 13-week program this past year. And what we found is that we were able to help the school make the same math and reading gains in 13 weeks as they did the first 5 months of school.
By doing what?
By, again, making sure that we have educational enrichment, which we guide our practices through what the Children's Defense Fund calls its Freedom School model. And that is an integrated reading curriculum that puts all of those pieces in. Reading is the focus, but you can integrate through your story and your questioning those concepts of social emotional development, cultural development, and then teaching children how to ask questions and not to just be passive learners, but active learners.
Active learners
Yes.
as well. Right, and is your program separate from Old Orchard School, or is it integrated into the curriculum there?
It is separate as an after-school project, and I just remember the A. It is Achieve, so I want to make sure I get that right.
You're such a type A personality.
Yes,
That's
I want to
okay.
make sure I get that right.
Achieve,
but
all
actually, the school has its during-the-day curriculum. We are an after-school piece that functions twice a week to do the educational enrichment. We got the outcomes which have been noted in the community, and so now we've been approached by the school system to kind of replicate their hub model and to integrate other pieces like health and mental health programming as well. So I think based upon what we were able to do in that time, the school system is saying we need to make you kind of a more permanent part of the family, and that's what we hope to do.
Because you're enhancing what their mission is and what their goals are on a more individualized level.
Absolutely. We're enhancing the goals of the district. We're enhancing the goals of Aspire, which reading and math scores is a part of their outcomes.
Right.
And we're also enhancing what the hubs are about, and that is increased learning and community participation.
So the kids who participate in your program, are they selected for participation, or do they volunteer? The parents just sign them up and they get to go?
Well, I think that we benefit from a mixture, which is always nice because you can speak to the variation between groups. When you're kind of too targeted, you can get solid outcomes. At the same time, will it work for another child that doesn't fall in that category? So we've had a mix. Some, if we do open enrollment, but you notice you're in the school, you build a rapport with the teachers. The teachers will start talking to parents and saying, hey, this is something you might want. This might be good for you. There may be children who have chronic behavioral issues or chronic issues in terms of falling behind in school. And then the principals and school counselors have been very good about talking to parents and saying, hey, you might want to check this out. So that's how we started. But then we found that a lot of children were just coming in without an application, and they got excited, their parents got excited, and then we kind of rose exponentially from there.
That's really good. And one of the things I think that's key in all of these processes is the support of parents and family. And you have a family and adult support group also.
Yes, we do family services, family education outside of Old Orchard, but that has kind of informed our practices going forward. So I don't think that when you do an isolated program, you're going to carry the pieces and wisdoms to whatever you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yes, we have developed a strong group of parents in that school. And I think sometimes we start by trying to reach out to the parents, and I believe that a lot of times parents become engaged when they see that you have the competency and rapport with your children. So we start with the children and kind of loosely allow the parents to come in the way they want to, and then once they kind of volunteer themselves, we start to look
engaged.
Engaged. Yes, we start to identify their skill sets, and we start to encourage them. Hey, you know, you could take leadership here. We see what you're doing. What are your ideas? And then together we inductively build a plan that all sides are happy with, and then see where it goes.
You know, one of the other issues too that happens an awful lot in these kinds of, when you're looking at all of the issues that get in the way of the achievement of children, people tend not to connect their environment, their neighborhoods, with the interventions that are used to move that child forward. But your group is actually talking about doing just that. You're looking at strengthening community partnerships.
Absolutely. As I believe I said, we are part of the Aspire Network, not just linking what we do to their goals, but we are engaged in the early childhood and the high school graduation committees there. So that's kind of a regional planning thing. So we're integrated on that level, but also on the neighborhood level and the school level. And we've been really working to bring a Promise Neighborhoods concept to this community.
Can we talk about that for a little bit?
Sure.
We've got a few minutes left. Can we talk about the Promise Neighborhoods concept? I know you've been working on it for a couple of years now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And hoping that one day that will bring traction, because again, it is very difficult to encapsulate a child in a school setting or even a church setting for that matter, and then send them back to the same community where older peers are telling them don't buy into what the adults are saying.
So what exactly is Promise Neighborhoods?
Promise Neighborhoods is a neighborhood effort to collect data on what the needs actually are, instead of just making up programs on what we think might help.
Anecdotal stuff, right?
Yes, and then giving the residents a strong voice in the planning of what will go forward. It is a program that is federally funded, so it is very intensive, so it takes a lot of money to keep it going and to keep it driving. And so with that support, then you can continuously bring programs to that community, not just for the student, but those grassroots efforts that can impact on different indicators, not just education, but health, because health and education are related. If you're not healthy, if you're sick, you're probably not engaged in school. And then also looking at that juvenile justice piece as well, and kind of figuring out from what are all of our strengths, how can we collectively work towards impacting one neighborhood at a time, so that you can actually see what is working and then replicate it.
Moving forward. We want everybody to know that these programs are all part of the Center of Hope Family Services program, and we're going to give you information on how to get more information and talk to Tracy before we leave today. But we have to go away for just a second. I want to thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
And we will be right back.
It's do or die. The head-to-head battles rage on.
This is going to be fun to see what happens.
8 more performers put it all on the line as America decides who moves on and who goes home.
This is history right here.
Rising Star, live tonight on ABC.
Wow, do you even get internet on this thing?
Yeah, I just gotta dial in.
Dude, you need a new computer.
But what am I gonna do with the old one?
Recycle it at Goodwill. Your donation helps put people to work right here in Northwest Ohio.
But how am I gonna play Double Dragon?
Just take it to Goodwill.
Join our Columbus studio audience.
We play games during the breaks, and audience members can win prizes and merchandise, even instant tickets like these.
Go to cashexplosionshow.com and click right there on Join the Fun.
Sarah posts, nothing like walking 3 miles because my car broke down. Hashtag woohoo. That's a serious problem in those shoes, Sarah. Let's find you something more dependable at the Honda Summer Clearance event. Like a Honda Accord with awesome standard features like a rear view camera and Bluetooth. You can throw these away. I just went too far. I can tell by your face.
Hurry in to get a great deal on a Honda, named Most Trusted Brand by KBB.com. The Honda Summer Clearance event is on now at your Honda dealer.
Hot Tub Swim Spas, pools, saunas, barbecues, patio furniture. Save thousands at the Hot Tub Swim Spa Pool and Patio Show now. Millions of dollars in inventory must be sold. Brand new Hot Tub Slash. See the amazing Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Swim, jog, relax, or work out in water. Spas start from $39.99. Patio sets from $9.99. Build your dream backyard for pennies on the dollar. Deal direct with factory reps and save 40 to 80%. Free admission at the Lucas County Rec Center. Log on to poolandspa-show.com or call 1-800-SPA-SALE. That's 1-800-SPA-SALE.
Wow, do you even get internet on this thing?
Yeah, I just gotta dial in.
Dude, you need a new computer.
But what am I gonna do with the old one?
Recycle it at Goodwill. Your donation helps put people to work right here in Northwest Ohio.
But how am I gonna play Double Dragon?
Just take it to Goodwill.
I told you there'd be lots of great information today. Now I'm going to tell you how to get more information if you want to. This is the information for the award-winning 13th Annual River Raisin Jazz Festival. Again, August 7 through 10 at St. Mary's Park in downtown Monroe. If you want to find out more about that particular festival, here's how you contact President and CEO John Patterson. He is the producer of that amazing festival. And finally, anything you want to know about the Center of Hope Family Services Incorporated and the wonderful program that Tracy Perryman talked to us about, there's the information there. Look, you guys know the rules. Go out, find a way to pay it forward. I'll see you next time on Bridges. Have a great day.
Do you have a Social Security disability claim which has been denied? Or a workers' compensation claim from a work-related injury? Call the Social Security, Disability, or Workmen's Compensation Lawyers at Elk & Elk. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries.
Hot Tub Swim Spas, Pools, Saunas, Barbecues, Patio Furniture. Save thousands at the Hot Tub Swim Spa Pool and Patio Show now. Millions of dollars in inventory must be sold. Brand new Hot Tub Slash. See the amazing Michael Phelps Swim Spas. Swim, jog, relax, or work out in water. Spas start from $39.99. Patio sets from $9.99. Build your dream backyard for pennies on the dollar. Deal direct with factory reps and save 40 to 80%. Free admission at the Lucas County Rec Center. Log on to poolandspa-show.com or call 1-800-SPA-SALE. That's 1-800-SPA-SALE.
Elk & Elk, Super Lawyers Top 5, National Trial Lawyers Top 100, Martindale Hubbell Top Rated Lawyers, Multi-Million-Dollar Advocates Forum, and Elite Lawyers of America Platinum member. For a top-rated injury lawyer, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Time and Temp brought to you by ShopLevisCommons.com. The following is a presentation of 13ABC Action News. Now, your table is ready. Join 13ABC's Jeff Smith with the decision makers of Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. This is the Round Table.
And a good afternoon to you once again here on the Round Table for this Sunday.